Dear friends, welcome to Impromptu Stories. Today I'm excited to introduce you to someone truly special, my dear friend Jose Herrera. Jose is a successful businessman. He is the author of 7 published books with his 8th on the way. He is also becoming a screenwriter, so it's his new accomplishment. And he's a proud dad with an inspiring life story that could take us across different cultures and places where he traveled and worked. Please be kind and understanding, because this is my very first video recording for the podcast. And true to its name, it was completely impromptu. In this episode, we dive into Jose's creative journey. How did writing actually find him? What it means to him now? And whether you really have to be a writer to write a book. We talk about the fears, the freedom, and the power of sharing your voice with the world. But that's not all. If you stay with us until the end, Jose has a special gift just for you. A practical guide to writing and publishing your own book, with simple steps you can start taking today. So, get cozy and enjoy this soulful conversation with the one and only Jose Herrera. Would you please tell us, Jose, do you remember the very first time when you felt the urge to write something down? And what was that moment like for you?
That's a very good question. I think it's more related to as a professional consultant, right? And in information technology, we write a lot, right? I design software for a living, so we have to create diagrams, explanation to those diagrams, and things like that. And actually, I was talking to a very good friend of mine. She's a business analyst, and she's also writing a book right now. And we were just discussing the same thing, like, why do we write? And I said, because we're used to it. Right? So she creates business requirements or functional requirements or even technical requirements for her clients. And we're used to writing, right? So how the idea came about to start writing is just basically something that you want to leave your dent in the universe at some point, right? Like you want, I don't know, your kids or your clients or future people in your industry to kind of like find you like, oh, this person wrote this book, I don't know, 30 years ago or 50 years ago or whatever, and say, oh, even back then, this is how, in my industry, right, because the books that I wrote are related to consulting, this is how consulting used to be at that time. But at the end of the day, we're all consultants, right? We all provide advice to others in one way or another. So it's just how the idea came about. It's just like I have a lot of information out there. I used to train people on how to become consultants, and I have a lot of details there. So they were not in book form. They were just like PowerPoint presentations, documents, and things like that. And at some point I said, well, probably a good idea to put it in a book. And I wrote the first one, The Art of Consulting.
It's lovely.
The second one came out 4 years later.
Oh, it's the same, just second book?
Second book. So The Art of Consulting is basically how to be a consultant. And The Art of Consulting with teams is mostly how to manage teams of consultants. Because it's a little bit different than managing a team of I don't know, engineers and things like that. So, yeah. So that's
this is wonderful. So you were already established, a very successful businessman and consultant, and that's when you felt the urge that, okay, I want to put all of those presentations into a book.
Exactly, something that is written and is organized, right?
That's
because
very good.
Back then, it was just like, oh, we're going to have a presentation about communication skills. And the PowerPoint will only include presentation skills and stuff like that. But in this case, the books contain everything related to how to be a consultant, in the first one, right? And the second one, how to manage the consultants in your team.
In your team, yeah. That's lovely. So it's more like business coaching almost, right?
It's kind of like business coaching, yeah, you're right. But at the end of the day, it can apply to any industry. It's not necessarily related to information technology, which is what I do. But it could be for, I don't know, you could be a coach for other writers. You could be a life coach. You can be so many things. You can be a shaman if you want. But there are certain skills that you need to develop to be able to maintain clients and to serve them well and, well, make your living out of it. So
Yeah, nice, very nice. So, was there a specific, like, because I know you also wrote some novels besides the business consulting
Correct,
books. I know you also published small booklet about how to write
How
and
to write.
publish your books,
Yeah.
because that's one you shared
It's a
with
writing
me.
guide, yeah. Mhm.
Actually, Jose, I know. Hopefully, my introduction was okay. I'm just a little bit nervous because it's my first time doing video recording. It was very impromptu. That's why it's called Impromptu Stories.
we set this up in like 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, exactly. So I know you wrote novels, and I was going to say, and Jose actually was is the person who encouraged me and empowered me and kind of a little bit nudged me and pushed me to publish my own book. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, anytime. I'm
Yeah,
glad that
thank
you did
you.
it. I'm
And
very
I-
proud of you, as I told you before.
Thank you very much. And I know you're writing now your number 3 novel. So I guess 4 books were about business related, now 3 novels, right?
Exactly. So the first 2 books is The Art of Consulting is
2 books
in
here.
English. The Art of Consulting with Teams in English. I published them in Spanish as well.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm originally from Mexico. The 3 novels are written under a pseudonym because I don't want to be found about that.
Yeah, nice. It's very personal.
Yeah, it's very
I guess
personal
it's
stuff.
mixed with personal and stuff.
Exactly.
So, when was that specific, I guess, experience or some turning point for you that made you realize, okay, I have something I want to share, and I want to say, and I want to share it. Even like by choosing your pseudonym, it means you have that urge. What was that? What that specific experience? If you want to share, if you can. That nudged you to.
I don't know. I guess it's all the desire about living a dent in the universe, right? And basically transferring knowledge to somebody else. Or telling the story, right? We humans are storytellers, right?
Yes.
Even when we go for coffee, you and I have so many stories, and we're storytellers. But having it in written form is a good way to transfer it to other people that can be useful for them. And also, like, again, living the dent in the universe, like you existed one day,
Yes.
right? I don't know.
And you have something to share.
Exactly.
That's the thing, like your life experiences, I guess, that come to the point, like especially, for example, like if I wrote recently about my grieving journey, so that's a huge experience that everybody goes through, and I wanted to leave that in writing, and thank you for encouraging me to finally actually publish it, because I had it sitting on my computer for 2 years. I would have been sitting there forever.
Exactly.
That's what
But
I
you
tell,
did it. That's
what I
the
tell
important part,
everybody.
right?
Yeah, but then Jose was the one who came up and said,
I
"No,
appear in
you-
your life to push you.
Yes, you appeared in my life to say, okay, you have to let it out.
Exactly.
You have to publish it, so it's you leave your dent.
And you
in
did
it.
it by yourself, remember?
Yeah, I
You
did.
were asking me so many questions. I said, well, I want you to learn how to
Yeah.
fish. No, I'm not going to give you the fish. And you did it.
Yeah,
So
thank
I'm
you
very
so
proud of
much. I appreciate it, because we need that support, that because so many times we feel like especially in my situation, I was like, who will understand my story?
Exactly.
Who will understand what I went through? This is very personal.
Correct.
It's my bond, my relationship with my brother. How can it be relatable to anybody? But we actually...
You're finding there is a lot of people. Right?
Yeah, it's actually, we're not so different at the end of the day, I guess. So
Awesome.
you wear so many hats. You're a businessman, you're a dad, a single dad, you're a writer, you are now a screenwriter. Very proud of
Apparently.
you, my friend. Yes, you're a screenwriter. So Jose actually becoming a screenwriter. He took courses, and his little play is going to be performed this weekend.
This weekend. Yeah.
Nice, yeah, and you're, as I said, a dedicated father and a great friend to so many people around you. So where does writing fit into your story, like into your life?
I guess it's an everyday endeavor, right? Even, and that's one of the things that in the book Writing Guide, you probably remember, it's a matter of writing every day. Doesn't matter what. Or taking notes at least. Something came to my mind. I haven't documented this. And I grabbed my phone even while I was driving, and I recorded a memo, a voice memo, because
Nice.
otherwise I will forget, right? So
That's a good habit, right?
Exactly. It's not just about typing. It's about capturing your notes, capturing your ideas somewhere so you don't forget about them. Because, for example, last night I was thinking, have you ever heard about this color? It's called Vanta Black.
I'm not sure.
Vanta Black. It's a very black color that doesn't reflect light, so it's
I
almost
see.
invisible at night, right? So, and I had the idea and I didn't write it down, and this morning I was like,
Yeah.
I forgot. and I remember this later today. I'm like, oh, I have to write it. So I just write notes that one day you may leverage, right? Another piece of advice that I have for new writers is to, for example, let's say you have, I don't know, you want to write a book about 20 chapters, for example. Keep a chapter 21, and call it chapters graveyard.
Oh.
Right? It's just basically, let's say you have certain things for this chapter and certain things for this chapter, but some things that were left over and that they don't fit into the chapters, put them in the graveyard. You may use them later.
Oh,
or you may use them for a future book. So, but always, everything that you write, everything that you record in your voice memos, anything, keep it somewhere because you can use it later on. And actually, I was telling a very good friend of mine advice this week, actually, because she wants to write her book. I say to her, you have great material online. And I ask her, do you type it? Do you have a written thing that you read? No, it's all ad lib. She speaks as she is on the video. And I said, well, all that material, transcribe it with an app, and then put it in your book that you're writing. And if you don't use it, just put it somewhere else. You can use later on.
But we live in a technology world where all kinds of apps come helpful to us.
Exactly.
Right? You can transcribe your voice. You can even
create voice.
Yes, exactly.
Create your text too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and so many more. Like I have no idea. I'm not going to go there. So, do you think we need to become writers or to publish books? Or is it more about having something meaningful to say and then kind of go from there? How do we become, I guess, writers?
Writers?
Yeah.
Just write.
Just right. Yeah, that's what you're saying. I think I'm repeating myself, but...
Yeah, no, but it's a good question, right? Because at the end of the day, we all speak, right? Well, a majority of us speak, right? And we all have a story to tell, but... I know for some people may be difficult. I have another very good friend who has a very unique story as well, very similar to yours. Tragic as well, but she cannot write. She's a great actress, but she cannot write. And I keep telling her, at least record it in your phone, your story. Ask yourself the questions and answer them there, but document somewhere so you can later on.
What do you mean she can't write? You mean like she has no ability to write?
She doesn't. You're a writer, right? I'm a writer. We have written stuff. But there's some people who just cannot write. But at least record it and then have a transcription or hire somebody later on to edit it, publish something. You just basically, if you cannot write, like at least document it somewhere that you can leverage it later on and put it in written form, either by app, a computer, or a translator, or whatever it may be, but at the end of the day, you have a story to tell, and it has to be told.
Yeah, I see. That's what you told me when we met. You said to me, your story needs to be told.
Exactly.
Your story needs to be out there. You need to leave your dent in the universe.
Correct.
Those words really impacted me by... it made me think and reflect on that.
Correct. But at the end of the day, you had a lot of material already when I met you, right? So it was just a matter of you taking the time to organize it, understand the app, the ugly app that we use, right? So and publish it, and you did.
Yeah, and 80% of my work actually was already even edited.
Exactly.
Edited even. Yeah, I even hired somebody from Ottawa to edit for me.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah. So you've been such a huge encouragement for me personally, and you've been such a huge encouragement for other people. Like you said, you mentioned a couple of your friends who are potentially writing their own books. So what gave you that confidence and not confidence, but who supported you, I guess, when you were writing, and what?
It's all self-confidence. You just basically do it. Right? You and I were talking earlier about this. Like, don't talk about it, do it.
Because in your life, there was not Dana or Jose who came and said, you need to leave your voice in the universe. So
it's just that itch that we get sometimes, like, well, I want to leave it into the universe.
But you were brave. You just kind of, because I did write that too, because I had that itch or whatever you call it.
Itch.
Nudge that I would want to publish a book and dedicate to my brother.
Yes.
And leave as a remembrance to my children, like as legacy, right? For my generations to come and all of that. But then it was time when I felt some kind of block and feeling like, who am I? Like, how can I be publishing when there's so many
Here's the most important thing.
great writers out there.
You are you.
Yeah, nobody's like me. Exactly.
No, like, you never know. You may become, I don't know, like a hit movie or something. But if you don't try, you will never know, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way. You have to try it.
Yeah, and then there's so many great artists who were rejected so many times.
I know, right?
And today they are like famous, right?
Exactly.
So
there's going to be rejection, right? As I told you recently, I pitched one of my books.
You did, yeah. Can you please tell a little more about that? Well, yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about that one because it's a personal story, right?
Okay,
so,
sure.
But I can tell you the experience is like I pitched to 10 different companies, and 4 of them seemed really interested. 2 of them contacted me only, and the lady that I thought that she was going to be, I want this, she said no. Oh. And the other one is still with them. It's a company out of Hollywood in Los Angeles.
Are these companies for the production of the movies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to make sure that...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's basically I want to create these writings in graphic form, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I'm pitching to different companies to see what can be done with them. Mm-hmm. But there's still the other company left that may say, oh, we want this or not. But it's going to take a while.
So it does not scare you off. It does not put you, hold you back if they reject you, right? Because so many, I guess, as we mentioned already, great artists get rejected so many times. Yeah.
It's part of life, so.
Mm-hmm. It's a part of experiences too.
It's part of the experience
We're learning, we're growing and evolving every time we get rejected, I guess too. But that's another level, I guess, still for people, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to do it.
Level of maturity when you can accept that rejection, right, and not feel bad about yourself.
Exactly. No. At the end of the day, and actually, when I was about to submit my writings to this company, the company with the lady, I asked a very good friend of mine. I say to her, like, what do you? And she read the writing, right? I say to her, what do I tell this lady to look out for? And then I realized it is what it is. The writing is what it is. If they like it, good. If they don't like it, I don't care.
But then there you have this very ambitious goal, I guess, that you would like for your novels to be a screenplay, right?
Exactly.
As movies or
I don't know what they may be. So who knows?
Yeah, sure. Who knows? Yeah. Good luck. I'm sure it's gonna. we will probably hear Jose's name one day. It'll be lovely. So you had any fears and doubts? You can tell me as a friend.
Fears? I have no fears.
No?
I don't fear death. Why should I fear anything else?
I'm trying to catch you.
No, I have no fears at all.
So when you're writing or contributing to the book, you don't have anything like that. Nice. You just boldly do your thing, right?
Here's one thing about me. One of my pros is I'm very confident of myself.
Good
and one of the cons too is I'm extremely confident of myself. I almost got killed like skiing in Japan because of I'm going to go to this thing. I almost killed myself. So confident, I have no problem with that, but sometimes it can be extremely confident, can put you in danger. So, and I'm a risk taker. So, yeah.
But in writing, I guess it's not dangerous.
Writing is not dangerous.
Okay, go for it. It's okay. We'll probably meet another time when you're writing your 17th book or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, so is there any message or story or maybe a topic or something that you feel it keeps coming back to you, or something, and that you really want for the world to understand this? I know it was great for you to share some of your consulting work, but is there any recently, maybe this, I don't know.
That's an interesting question. Related to consulting?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, it doesn't have to be related to consulting?
Recently,
I think there is a little bit of, and this is another topic that a very good friend of mine is writing about. Jesus is his name. He's writing about how interpersonal relationships, but especially when it comes to romantic relationships, are kind of skewed because this is a different era, right? Many people today are like, oh, I would like to love to be like in the 90s. It's not, right? So he's writing about that. I think it's not that a story that I want to share, but I highly encourage my friend to write about that, and if I can contribute to what he's writing, I'm happy to do so. But I think that's one of the things that is a little bit messed up out there. So
you mean the dating world and
relationship, or there's a lot of divorces out there.
Yeah, divorces.
It's crazy, right? So even my son is against all that. So Yeah.
Yeah, I see. So there, for those who are listening today to our podcast and our conversation, I'm sure you would agree with me, everybody has a story.
Oh, everybody has a story. Yeah.
Everybody has a story to share in their heart, but they don't dare to share it yet. So what would you say?
What do I tell them?
Yeah, please.
Write it.
You write it.
Yeah.
That's what Jose said.
Feel free to share my writing guide, because I know that Jordan Peterson had...
you would like us to attach the video YouTube?
What's that?
You would like to just attach to the description of YouTube?
If you want, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Jose wrote this little guide.
Book writing guide.
About writing a book guide. So he's given us permission to use it for free.
It's public. So.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I will make sure to upload the link to that in the description below. So you can always download it, and hopefully it will help some of you to start your writing journey. Before we close, maybe I'd love for you to leave maybe some final inspiration, which you already did. You already gave them even a tool to use. Anything else you would like to add, maybe from your heart? Because it's a beautiful conversation.
I know. We could go for hours, you and I. You and I, when we talk, it's just for hours, right? So it could go really long.
That's why I don't want to overwhelm anybody, and us too. So I know there's so many different angles to this topic. We can always come back. We'll have our guest again. Maybe there's anything just as being a single dad, or being a man in living in immigration as well, because I don't know how many years you've been in immigration now.
I've been here for 25 years.
25 years.
And I cannot wait to get out of here.
And you're also like a person of the world. You've been living in different parts of the world as well.
Yeah, I live in many places, and travel for work.
Maybe to speak to your younger self.
My younger self? What I will tell my younger self would be the most powerful word in any vocabulary is the word no. And the most powerful move is to walk away. For example, it could be a job interview and they say, oh, we're going to pay you $60K when you know that you deserve 90. So like, no. And walk away. Bye. And that applies to anything. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I tell my younger self. And don't give people many chances. That's another one, right? Because some people, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be co-workers, it could be even government. Basically, exactly. Romantic relation doesn't matter. It's just basically you have to have that power to walk away and So that's,
and set your boundaries again.
And set your boundaries is very important as well. So and put them right away. When you make the mistake of sending them too late and people don't respect them, they have to have a consequence. Boundaries have to have a consequence, and that could be at work, could be anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say your boundary is at work is like, I should not be doing accounting when I'm an IT consultant, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you try to make me do accounting, like that's my boundary. Is that hard? No. Otherwise, the consequence, I leave.
Yeah, you leave. But then, it's another level of confidence, but also people will be probably scared about losing their job.
There's many jobs out there.
How are they going to pay the
Because at the end of the day, we carry our skills wherever we go. Right? So that's the way I see it.
Nice, beautiful. I think it's wonderful tip and insight from you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and for a beautiful conversation.
Yeah, as usual. Great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. We'll have you again, I guess, with different topics.
For different topics, anytime.
We'll welcome you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Bye.